Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, and of course I've been alluding to this and to this particular video, and it's a month late. I do apologize, but between work and I've been actually quite sick the last few weeks as well. I got a cold. I worked 3 days straight doing a lot of photography. Those that know, that's my day job, and to be honest, it took a toll on me, and I got this nasty cold, and I've still got a bit of a cough, but doing a bit better now to be able to record a video. So I thought I'll do it today and just get it over with and start the week, so might as well do it now. Today's topic is something very special, at least to me it is. This year I'm celebrating 22 years collecting wrestling DVDs, and more than anything else, it's been a long journey, and obviously one I couldn't do on my own, because obviously I had a lot of help from my brother along the way.
Yeah.
But I'm going to talk to you about the first one I got, and there's a little bit of backstory to that as well. We'll show you here.
There's a little scratch on it, but...
Yeah, but that's on the cover. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But the first one I did get was this, which is Royal Rumble 2001.
Is this your very first one?
Yeah, I got that. I got this for my 13th birthday, and I remember I had it taped from Sky back then, but I remember seeing all the DVDs in the shops, and I always never really thought I'd get them, because I was still very into VHS. I didn't really collect all of them back then, but I would just tape them off Sky, and I'd have like a glossary of wrestling VHS tapes recorded from them. So I never really did get the official ones, and especially including Superstar Bios, which I'll get to in a little while. But the reason why I did get it was to start off a collection, and it was something that my brother wanted, and he's like, what do you want for your birthday? I wasn't sure what I wanted. So he saw this, knowing that I loved the Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit match, and he just got it for me, and then from there collection grew. The reason I suppose that people always ask, and the question that everyone does ask, even 22 years later, is why. Once Sky Box Office came into the picture, and here in Gibraltar we didn't have access to Sky Box Office, so me and my brother had a discussion where we'd only pick up the ones that were shown on Sky Box Office, so to actually have them in the collection. Because some of them, obviously, I knew about torrent sites, but obviously I wasn't that well versed back then as to what they did and how you'd be able to get them. Bless you.
Thank you.
And how you'd be able to get them and access them. So I thought, you know what, it would be a good idea. And obviously I'd save up my money, my pocket money, to be able to buy the latest releases. And we did that as from Royal Rumble 2002, and then as the months went on, we'd end up getting WrestleMania 18 and, all the others that came in that collection. So it was all mostly Royal Rumble and WrestleManias, because I had, by that point, by 2002, which I'll get to in a little while, in the topic of VHS, when the WWF then changed to WWE, I remember they had this huge sale on Silvervision, and I never did get anything from that sale, but I remember going to the UK later that year, in around August, September, and going to HMV, and they had a lot of stuff which I would have loved to have had as a child. But the first thing that caught my attention was to get the WrestleMania Legacy box set, which I actually still have the VHSs for. I've got the WrestleMania 10 VHS from that particular set. I've got it signed by Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall when I met them both, and it's one of the biggest gems of my collection, which I'll show you in another video. But if you've seen my other videos, it's been visible there as well. So that changed. We didn't really get that many VHSs. No, we didn't. And we only got that box set because it was something that I had saved up for with my birthday money and my pocket money. So £165 later, which back then, 21 years ago, was a lot of money. I got that because it was the only things that I really wanted. And I had a friend of mine, Andrew, who actually had it as well. So I thought, and I used and borrowed some of them. I thought, you know what, I'll just pick it up whenever I can, and I did. From there, it just became exciting, whenever my two local shops, VJ Music Corner, which to this day are still up and running, thanks to them, to the kind generosity and the customers that they have in Gibraltar. Thanks to them, I was able to get so many for my collection. I mean, I remember VJ especially, I think it was maybe 2002, where they actually still had a lot of VHSs, and they brought in some 89, which my brother picked up. I remember ordering through them WrestleMania 9, which I got for my 12th, and so many others. And, it was great for that time. It was very exciting because obviously there were so many things I had never seen. I had never watched SummerSlam 89, so the first time I watched it was in that particular VHS. And it was a treat for me because obviously I didn't know who won, I didn't know much about the main events, the build-up, everything else. So it was new and it was refreshing, and I'll get into that when it comes to Tag Classics as well. One thing I think it's very important, and I think Beatdown Bunny and Turn for Punk and I talk about it a lot, is the pride that comes with it, I suppose. There is a lot of pride when it comes to having a wrestling DVD collection. And mostly when you look at your shelf, and I like Turn for Punk, who has all the special editions, alternate artwork and stuff like that. I just go to and just get one, but he's got them all, but we talk about the pride that comes with it, because at the end of the day, we haven't really given up. We believe in the physical media when it comes to wrestling collecting. And when you look at our collections, and especially Beatdown Bunny's, which has come a long way, kudos to him. And he only needs one TNA Impact run, which is 3 Live Crew, which is of course another to find at a very good price. But I have I have a lot of faith that he'll find it, and he'll actually be able to complete that collection as well. But there is a lot of pride that comes with it eventually, and when you have that pride, it comes with the next chapter of this, which is knowledge. When I first started collecting, I automatically thought that every single WWF then pay-per-view was available on DVD, but they weren't. And that's when, Lord and behold, in 2004, which feels like a lifetime ago now, 2004, I think it was my brother who always had the Mega Mail catalogue coming in from Silvision every month. Or was it bi-monthly? I forget. And I remember and they had the covers of WrestleMania 1 and 2 on it. And it was like, oh, they're going to release these Tag Classics, which to re-release what they had actually had to pull from their stores when the name change happened in May 2002. And then I was like, you know what, we're going to pick them up. But the first one I got was King of the Ring 93 and 94. And I got that with a few, I think it was the Ric Flair DVD, the Ultimate Ric Flair Collection. Excuse me. I got that for my 16th. And I was very proud to have that. And when I was able to, I had the opportunity to compare it to the VHS, because I had King of the Ring 94 on VHS. And was able to compare that to the DVD release. And when I checked, Lord and behold, there was no edits, no nothing. All WF names were intact. Everything, all the theme music, all the production music, you name it, all the commentary was intact. So, of course, Tag Classics changed our collections in more ways than one. From there, then a few months later, I went to the UK and I picked up a few more. And obviously, I was older then, so I had a lot more money, if that makes any sense, and I was able to get more. My brother would always get a few as well, and it was great that he was able to get them, because that enhanced our collection. Obviously, I wasn't working at the time, he was, and it was just as exciting for both of us, because it was some shows that we had never seen, some shows that we remember watching on Sky, and we hadn't seen since it aired on Sky. I mean, I remember, I wouldn't watch them live, but I would watch them on the replay. Maybe they televise it again on the Monday and the Tuesday. I can't remember, but there were so many shows that we did that with. But it was special for us, I mean, I remember the day that we got SummerSlam 94 and 95 in particular. We wanted to watch 94 straight away. And we watched 94 in one sitting on a Saturday afternoon and during the summer, and it was great. And we did that with many shows, In Your House 1 and 2, which we had never seen. Because if you recall, if you're from the UK, the first In Your House that was televised on Sky was In Your House 14, Revenge of the Taker. There's a little trivia fact there. But those Tag Classics were saving grace, and I'll get to how much of a saving grace they were a lot later, but they definitely did enhance a lot of collections along the way. The impact that it had on our collections was great, because when you pick up stuff like some 201, and then 202, and then 203, and onwards, by the time they got to SummerSlam 98, 99, that means you only had, maybe you wouldn't have to pick up any more SummerSlams because you were up to date, because SummerSlam 2000 did get an official release in 2000. But others, in particular, you know, like Any House. I remember it took a very long time to get to Any House 3 and 4. And I remember then reading that they were thinking if the Tech Classic were to be discontinued, they were glad to get Any House 13 and 16 out of the way, because they're the two of the greatest Any House pay-per-views. And it didn't make sense at the time, but it makes a lot of sense now. But then once they did re-release Any Houses, they had it 3 and 4, then 5 and 6, and 7 and 8, all the way to 27 and 28. As well as when the Survivor Series, I remember I was getting knee surgery, and my brother came in to the hospital room with a printout of the Survivor Series 95-96 pre-order email. And that was very exciting. I think it was because they released, it was Survivor Series 93-94. Then they released another one, which I forget what it was. And then it was Survivor Series 95-96. I had never watched, by that point, Survivor Series 96, considering the fact that it's now one of my favorite shows of all time. But I had never watched it in full, so it was great for me to be able to watch that back for the first time. Right place, right time is the best way to sum up Tech Classics. You know, you had to be in it to win it. And the pre-orders, like all these email alerts that Silvervision would send out, which were fantastic. And it changed the landscapes of our collections, that's for sure. Until 2020, late 2020, I would only collect WWE, purely WWE. I had the opportunity to get a lot of TNA DVDs, even when I had been in the UK, and I would see them on shelves, and I never did. But in late November 2020, it was one of those nights that you can't sleep, you're browsing Facebook, and I belonged to one of these Facebook groups, and all of a sudden this guy was selling a huge lot of TNA DVDs, and it was pretty much almost everything that you needed to complete a TNA DVD collection. And I asked him, you know, would you be able to split both? You know, do one, maybe 2004 to 2009, then do 2010 to 2013 or 2014. And he did. And I was like, okay, great. So we did that, and then obviously my curiosity got the better of me, where I found out, and I remember him, this is a bit of an moment. He asked me if I wanted the one-night onlys as well. And I said no, initially. And not thinking that maybe I wouldn't want to get them, or what they were going to be mean to a collection. I said no, but then I instantly regretted myself, and I said yes, I do want them. It was too late. So the fact that it was too late, I wasn't able to get them from him. But then I was a quick eBay find, and I found a few that I needed. Excuse me. And the fact that I needed a few from there was great, you know, because I was able to get them. And Travis Lasseter and Ryan Nicholas were superb, because I bought them lots from them over the years, over a few months. And that led me to just needing 3, because I remember just needing 3. And one of them was Hardcore Justice 2015. Well, actually 4, not 3. It was Hardcore Justice 2015, Gut Check 2015, and GFW Anthology Parts 3 and 4. A quick Google search, and it led me to this video by this guy called Beatdown Bunny. And instantly I messaged him asking if he had them. He did. We started talking. I told him I was interested and I needed them for my collection. I offered him a good price. Lo and behold, he said yes. And to this day, I'm very proud to say that he's one of my bestest friends on the internet. You know, he's one of the people I talk to quite a lot. And then from there, a month later or so, I remember on a quick Facebook group, same thing. I asked whether anyone had Hardcore Justice 2015, and I got a message from this guy called Derek in Washington, and he did have it. He told me he was going to check for me, and then overnight, obviously because due to the time difference, I woke up to him sending me pictures of the artwork and to confirm that he did have it. Quick offer, made it, he accepted, and lo and behold, I was able to get that. It changed everything in every sense of the word. You know, I was so proud to finally complete that. Then I got a few others from other people, especially Sacrifice 2014, which I noticed was a gap in between my 2014 collection. But I did find it then, Tag Team Tournaments and Knockout SmackDown 2014, and a few others. But I got there in the end, and as you saw in my last video, I'm completely 100% up to date with Impact Wrestling. That's a mission accomplished in every sense of the word. When it comes to collecting, there's a lot of miscellaneous stuff that goes on the way, and you find out about releases that were exclusive to particular continents or to a particular place, similar to what's how classics were to us in the UK and in Europe. But there's some from Asia that were very rare. I mean, I found out about the New Blood vs. Millionaires Club DVD from the only official WCW DVD from WrestlingDVDNetwork.com, and I thought, you know what, I need to try and find this. And I know that Turn for Punk found it for a very good price at a charity shop. And then I just scoured the internet and I found it on Mercari, and I found that Mercari actually ships to Europe now. So I was able to get it for a very good price from there too. And that's where I also found Diva Diaries 22/7, which is also a very rare one. But from, forgive me if I forget his name. But I got a few from a US collector, and one of the ones that he had that I needed, which was a very rare one, was WWE Live in Japan in 2005, which unfortunately doesn't include the Chris Benoit Jericho match, which I would have loved for it to be included, but I believe it was released in 2007, so that's the reason why it was excluded. But there is a lot of miscellanea when it comes to collecting, and there's a lot of rarities out there that you never think you're going to find, but then eventually you do find for a very good price. So moving on, there is some the fun of it, then when I do this, I don't know whether other collectors do this or not, but I go on eBay quite often, and I do try and look for and search for the ones I have to see if they're available. I mean, there is some out there that are almost impossible to find, especially when it comes to TNA Impact DVDs. Excuse me again. And I just remember, I just do this quite a lot to just check the prices, and some of them go for a very high price. And it's crazy how expensive they go for. It's incredible. Friends you meet is very important, because you don't just meet for the other collectors, you meet friends along the way. This is how I met Mark Thomas Rob on YouTube. We became very good friends in a forum, similar to Turn for Punk actually, and we got to meet face to face. We spent a whole weekend together at WrestleCon in London at the London Wrestling Convention in 2015. And it was so great, and he was so great for my collection as well, because I had a Austin vs. McMahon on my watch list for the longest time on eBay. And when I spoke to the seller, he wouldn't ship it to Gibraltar, he would only ship it to a UK address. And I messaged Mark, and with all my gratitude, I just said, Mark, can I use your address, because it's one that I need. No questions asked, he told me I could use it, and then he sent it over to me. And I couldn't be more grateful to Mark for his friendship. I miss him a lot. I haven't seen him in 8 years now, and he's made acquaintance with a lot of my other friends from the internet, like Thomas, Leslie, and Gavin Fletcher, and a few others. It's great to see that. It shows you how many mutual friends you have eventually in the wrestling world. Same goes for other people that I've met, who are not even collectors, but there is some that are collectors, like Mark and Dan Thornhill, Jen Green Day. Dan has probably got a huge amount of wrestling DVDs, autographs, which is fantastic to see and to witness. I know he's got some stuff signed by Vince McMahon. He was able to meet him a few years ago. Excuse me. And it's great, that he was able to do this and to be able to do that. But it comes with the territory, And I couldn't go and end this video without mentioning Turn for Punk and Beat Up Bunny, because they're the ones that I talk to the most. And we even have a Facebook chat, where we talk about our collections and what we received, and obviously bitching and moaning a little bit as well about some of the customer service from WWE UK, because we don't feel it's very good, compared to what Silvision used to offer. But we talk about our collections, and sometimes we can't afford them at that particular moment, so we got to wait. I don't know how many of you got the All In 2018 Blu-ray DVD from Pro Wrestling Tees. I for one, I'm not getting it. I've got a bootleg of it, which has the full event. I saw there was various edits to be included. It'll be good for the collector's sake, but I'm not happy with it. I would have loved for that to be intact and the way it was when it happened in 2018, because it was rather special when it did happen in 2018. Ones to get is very important. There is a lot of ones that I will still want to get. ECW DVDs, I think Beatdown Bunny has done a great job to collect all the ones that he needed, and I'm thinking the same thing. Should I get ECW DVDs or not? I do have the space for them. I just don't know whether I want to get them or do I want to fork out a huge bucket of money to just get them all. I don't know. I am undecided on that at the moment. And then same goes with WCW pay-per-views. I've got them all on Blu-ray, which I got from Chad Stone many years ago, but I'm not sure what to do yet. Is to get them individually or not, because I feel they look good in individual as well. But I don't know. We'll see. It's one of those things still at the back of my mind. But when it comes to WWE, I've got them all, except for the 2 fitness DVDs that were released by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I don't have them. But I mean, I'm not really fussed. You know, it's not ones that I'm going to rush in a hurry to go on eBay and find and add them to my collection. But yeah, and same goes for TNA and Impact. You know, I mean, I'm very happy with that collection. AEW the same. I'd love for AEW to continue releasing their DVDs. I mean, they did a great job with some of them. I would love to see Forbidden Door, like 1s and 2 being released, and just be up to date with their pay-per-views. They haven't released anything official since Double or Nothing last year, so who knows what's in store for them. Final thoughts is, I'm going to tell you my honest opinion. I mean, if you want to start a collection now, it's great. You know, you can do that. Just because it's on the WWE Network, it should not deter you from getting them for your own personal collections. You know, I've got the WWE Network. I've had it since 2014 and I still collect. You know, it's not the same to, you can watch every single pay-per-view at the fingertips. You know, just use your remote, your controller, and they're there. Which is great, yeah, but you know, sometimes there's a lot of things that get edited and deleted, which don't make it, and that's what these DVDs provide. And unfortunately, like obviously some edits are made, and especially when it comes to Chris Benoit matches. I know that all Chris Benoit matches are intact in the network, but there is a lot of things that are missing, and not just Chris Benoit released, but a lot of things that happened on the show. There may be a lot of edits that made it to the final release, and they didn't make it on the network instead. But yeah, I mean, don't overspend is another one. I mean, if you see that something is very cheap in inverted commas, and because you need it for your collection and you're desperate to have it, don't overspend. A cheaper one will come up eventually, I'm sure. Just embrace your collections. You know, don't brag about your collections, because I don't do that. At least I don't think I do. I'm just proud of the collection that I have, and that my brother was able to help along the way with. But I've continued it, and I'm very proud to have it at my disposal. But just don't overspend, just be happy with what you have. If there's something that you need or you need advice with, I mean, I'm only a message away. You can just comment in the messages below, in the comments below. And we're here to help in every sense of the word. Ismail, want to say anything?
I really want to do see you say something.
Okay, Ismail's going to say something now before we sign off.
A few comments went in the videos.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 101 subscribers now, so that means people are responding to our videos.
Yeah, the comments were, do you have any pop collections? Like, we have a lot of pops, but a few pop, because we're going to release a secret video, and if you want to see videos that are not released yet, just go down there and join us, and then you'll see videos that are not being released yet.
That's true. I mean, someone did highlight, because they saw them in a past video, what happened to my WWE Pop collection. That's still going.
Yeah.
I've got 3 right in front of me, which I'll showcase when I get one of the ones that pairs one of the releases that's been released. I'm fully up to date now until the new wave comes out next month, which so we're going to leave it at that. We'll once that comes, and the one that we will make a video and we'll showcase that pop collection as well. Because we're passing on the pop collection from one shelf to the other as well. So once that's done, we'll showcase the pops, and you'll see what the fuss is about and why I keep them as a box as well.
And you guys, if you want to take a picture of this and the back, we're gonna give you some time to take a picture of the front first.
In case you're wondering what it looks like, obviously this is what it does.
And side.
And the side is fine. Yeah. And the inside is still very intact from the moments I got it in 2001. So yeah, a lot of releases and a lot of money spent, but at the end of the day, it's worth it to see how much it's progressed since. Bless you.
Thank you.
So we're going to leave it at that, and we'll be back with another video. It was just mostly to celebrate the 22nd anniversary of collecting, and like I said, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I'm very proud. We've got 100.
There's a little secret right behind.
Yeah,
right
there's 2 covers here. I don't have Royal 2000. I actually have that as the Tech Classics.
Oh.
But I do have WrestleMania 2000.
And one more thing. One of the comments was that we want to see, like, if we have, like, a game.
Yeah, we'll do that as well.
Yeah, we're going to have to try and get, like, a green screen and all of the game stuff we can.
Yeah.
We already have a bit of a game and stuff.
So we'll sort that out, and that's coming in the next few months, I'm sure. But for now, don't forget to like, guys. We're very grateful. We've got 100.
Subscribe and hit that bell.
Yeah, and we've got 101 subscribers now, which is great for us. And so, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment. And if there's anything that you want me to highlight or review, just give me a shout out or just comment in the comment section below.
And I'm going to give you all of you a leak about the number of the box, not the pop itself. 3, 134, and
no, that's
2.
The 2-pack doesn't have a number. 2-packs don't have numbers, but one of them is 134. You're right.
Yep, and 3.
And if you're a collector, then you know who that pop already is.
There's a few pops that have that number.
Yeah, but that 134, that one's a very rare one. I think it's going to become very rare eventually.
We're not going to tell you any names.
Like I said, if you're a collector, you know who that is already. If you don't, then you'll have to Google it yourself.
Or if you are smart enough and you have pictures of every pop in existence,
well, that's
you are
something.
amazing.
That's something I got to highlight. There's someone I've been talking to on YouTube, on Facebook, that actually has every single pop, and he actually showed me a video of it. And we're gonna do. Maybe we might do a collaboration video as well to talk about pops.
We might collab with a really famous pop wrestler collector.
Not really a famous, but he's trying to get out there because he does make videos about unboxings and.
He might come over to our country, Gibraltar.
We'll do it over the internet.
Or we'll just use it on a little computer because we...
Yeah, either way, I mean, we'll be happy to do that. There's a lot of stuff coming. We want to do more content.
Yep.
Obviously, we talk about games, video games quite a lot. We play a lot of W2K23.
Yeah.
But
I don't play that much, but I beated him and he still wants to get revenge.
That's true, actually. But we're very proud.
I was The Rock and he was the... What were you again?
I think it was Brock Lesnar. I can't remember, but I think it was.
I beated you.
You beat me, yes, you did.
Speaking
of The Rock, I'd love to be interested to know. We'll be very interested to know. Do you think The Rock sticks around now and maybe faces Roman at WrestleMania, or he doesn't? I thought his return on SmackDown this past week was out of everything I've ever seen in wrestling this year. Many great moments this year, but that's probably my top 5 already. And just that pop alone, was fantastic. Yeah. It was great to see him back and do what he's born to do in every sense of that. He's a great actor, don't get me wrong, but I think The Rock needs one last hurrah. And
he voice acted someone from Moana.
Yeah, it's true.
If anyone knows who it is, comment it down below in the comments. And if anyone has contact with The Rock or John Cena, send this video to them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's something we could do. Maybe we could do a video talking about The Rock.
And John Cena.
And John Cena as well.
Because those two are really famous. And I think we might release a small YouTube short.
Maybe. But right now, I think this whole Rock thing...
All this parts of the videos that we deleted.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very important that we highlight that because I think The Rock's return was... A lot of people say it was leaked. I wouldn't say it was leaked. I think just the fact that he was on Pat McAfee's show doesn't mean he was going to be there. He could have easily just flown out to Denver straight after that interview with Pat McAfee, but he didn't. With Triple H back, maybe not Vince McMahon, not around as much as he loves Vince, because he does, you can tell. He's been a father figure to him over the years. He's never going to go against Vince McMahon. But it's pretty cool that he did come back, and Lord knows where this leads to. I'd love to see Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 40.
Wait.
Should it be for the
Would
championship?
that be cool?
Should that be for the championship?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think it needs a championship to be relevant, but it does need a championship to be relevant at the same time. But we'll get that, and we'll talk about that in another video once we know what's going to happen.
Might release a merch store. We don't know.
Maybe.
We don't have enough money for merch. Or we can just put our faces on t-shirts.
We'll see. But for now, we're signing off. Like I said, comment, like, subscribe, and we'll be back with another video very, very soon.
And
for now,
we could get a new vlog camera.
and
This
for now,
this is a leak of it. This thing right here is
Yeah.
a leak of it.
so for now, guys, take care. We'll be back
Yep.
another video very soon.
Yep. It'll be in 1
And
week.
take care. Peace.
Peace.